Why is caviar so expensive? The true value of caviar. If you have eaten caviar before, you are one of those living above the poverty line or must have benefited from the largesse of someone financially comfortable. Caviar ranks high among the most expensive intercontinental delicacies. But why is caviar so expensive? What is the true value of caviar? This is what the article will dwell on. Why is caviar so expensive? Several reasons can be given to explain why caviar is expensive. However, we can discuss 5 of the commonest of them. Number 1, the fish species. If you want ordinary salted fish roe, you may not pay so much, but if you insist on eating true caviar, the one derived from sturgeon, do not be surprised when you come across a price tag as high as $25,000 per kilogram. But why is caviar so expensive, especially this species? The sturgeon species has been overfished and is now close to extinction. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, 18 species of sturgeon including beluga, kaluga, osetra, sevruga, and Siberian are among the species of sturgeon in danger. This warning came on the heels of the unabated overfishing and poaching of sturgeon. This continues to date side by side with the destruction of the sturgeon's natural habitat and water pollution. As these fish species keep suffering these, it is becoming scarcer. Consequent upon this, caviar and the producing sturgeon have come under intense regulation of government agencies. That is why caviar is so expensive. Number 2, reproduction time. In the light of the length of time required to produce roe, it is necessary to ask, why is caviar so expensive? The cost implications of growing caviar to maturity are enormous. In the natural world, spawning sturgeon and other fish can produce up to millions of eggs at the same time. Unfortunately, only a handful of hatchlings will survive the arduous journey into adulthood, so caviar may cost far less if its very species have higher chance of surviving. A more critical issue is that it's not a fast-maturing fish that could cope better with the ever-increasing human demand for fish and eggs. It can take anywhere between 8 and 20 years for sturgeon to yield, and it can even take 3 to 4 times that period to replenish populations in the wild. It can be very expensive to raise it when you compare it with that of other fish that produce roe, such as bowfin, salmon, and trout. That is another fact that explains why caviar is so expensive. The value of caviar not harvested at the right time will drop sharply because the roe will become unusable and the price has to be lowered just as the quality is if it has to be sold at all. Number 3, process of harvesting and manufacturing. You will also understand why caviar is so expensive if you consider how long it takes to harvest the main ingredient of caviar. However, what about the process of harvesting caviar itself? The process involves washing, curing, inspecting, and aging among other steps in manufacturing the roe. There is no gainsaying the fact that the process takes time and money. After the long patient wait for the fish to reach the maturity of producing roe, the harvester will kill the caviar to obtain the roe from it. The harvester then starts the process again. Of course, in modern times, caviar harvesters are trying to harvest the eggs without necessarily killing. However, the process does not produce the same quality with the usual harvesting method that involves the killing of the caviar. Number 4, grading. Caviar, like many other products, carries price tags that reflect the quality. That lists grading among the factors explaining why caviar is so expensive. You cannot find roe that is exactly like another. Even grains from the same species can grade differently. How caviar tastes is affected by how it grades. One grading system is the use of color. Black caviar is valued highly, for instance. Other grading systems consider maturity, size, separation, uniformity, lucidity, firmness, flavor, and fragrance. Number 5, forces of demand and supply. The law of demand and supply also applies to caviar prices and plays a great role in determining the true value of caviar. For reasons well explained above, namely the species, the maturation time, and the quality, the supply for caviar is low. Even though caviar has always been regarded as a food reserved for royalty and super rich, the demand for it has always been more than supply. This is because many more people are stepping up their financial status. To establish the new and affirm the current status symbol, many more people are feasting on caviar in the last few decades. Therefore, if you have a low supply in the face of high demand for caviar, why caviar is so expensive becomes clearer. Yes, the true value of caviar is not in the taste and the nutrients, but in the factors affecting its pricing. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.